Oh yeah, Enes Kanter, baby. Oh my goodness, this guy is something else. Enes Kanter. For y'all who don't know who Enes Kanter is, Enes Kanter is the Boston Celtic player who also cannot go back to his country or he will be tried, arrested, and probably executed in the country of Turkey. He has got asylum here in the United States, and he plays here, and he can't travel out of the country because Turkey has rescinded his visa. So he can't really travel at all. He has to stay right here in the good old United States of America, probably for the rest of his life. Because if he ever goes back to Turkey, and they're making it really hard on his family over there, we all know what's going to happen. Unfortunately. Now you probably wonder why I brought this up. Very clear. Very clear. Because I want you to get a clear idea as to why something like this would transpire, happen, or go down. And the reason why something like this has happened is because Enes Kanter actually fights for something bigger than money. I don't want people to think he's trying to become popular. He's doing this because he wants fame. He's doing this for one reason. He's doing this because he believes it. When he's standing up for China, he believes it. He wants the freedom for all. So yesterday when he called out Lebron and says, money over morals for the king. Sad and disgusting how these athletes pretend they're about social justice. They really do shut up and dribble when Big Boss China says so. Did you educate yourself about the slave labor that made your shoes? Or is that not part of your research? And he tagged LeBron James and Nike. Then he said the Chinese government engages in forced organ harvesting. Ethnic and religious groups, Tibetans, and the Uyghurs, and death camps, Christians, Falun Gongs are all targeted for livers, kidneys, and hearts. Stop murdering for organs. It's a crime against humanity. And forced organ harvesting in China now. Now, when he put that up, and he called out LeBron and called out Nike, everybody who black start going hands in the air. Oh my God! What are you talking about? He just hate LeBron James. What about Michael Jordan? Michael Jordan is still black. Sorry. You see, when you go after the person why are people going after the employees, not the employer? It's the same thing we talked about. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I just got a message that just threw me off a little bit, but it's the same thing that happened beforehand that we was talking about with Drake. Uh-oh, bird just flew into the window. Yep, must have been out drinking last night. It's the same thing that happened with Drake and Travis Scott. Their names are plastered all over social media. Meanwhile, and I do say meanwhile, you got Apple and Live Nation. No one's even mentioned Apple. They're the organizers, the event organizers. But Travis Scott and Drake who wasn't even there, they have been called into question. Travis Scott, they taking his music off of stuff, can't play it at parties, targeting him. It's callous. Now, what Enes Kanter is doing is highlighting the major problem. Michael Jordan did not come out and back China. He didn't come out and frontline anything. Michael Jordan kept his mouth shut and stayed out of politics. LeBron James opened his mouth in defense of China and the way things that they're doing over there. He opened his mouth. He the one got involved. So if you want to get involved, okay. Now you got to get it too, because you went to protect Master. All Daryl Morley did was put out a tweet and supported it and gave his support that way. He didn't do an interview. He didn't say a word. But yet, LeBron does an interview where he basically attacks his NBA brother because he's thinking about money. But calls himself a fighter for social justice. Let that sink in. We don't let all that sink in, because this is going to really start to open your eyes, because you guys are falling for the same thing on the same primrose path you've always been. It's time to wake up. You've been on this road far too long. You see these guys come out here and shuck and jive and dance and put on a show. But when it's time to really frontline for something, to really be there, they not. Nobody covered their fees. They need a room. They need their room paid for. They need something to be out there. Who's all going to be there and doing an interview? They want certain things. They need the right coffee. They need it's all the red tape that comes along with it. And it's like, well, what are you here for? I think we're losing sight of what this is all about. And when you start losing sight of what this is all about, when you start losing sight of what this is all about, we end up with a situation like we got now. Now, Enes Kanter is a player who's never liked the way LeBron James is. I mean, it's not like Enes Kanter is one of the greatest of all time. No, but he plays a role where he's important to his team. But he doesn't bow down to LeBron James like everyone else. Now, he's already stated before he started making comments, he checked with the NBA and found to see that he had permission to actually speak about China. And the NBA told him, yes, you can speak about China. We have your back. But they have not put out a tweet or anything else. But they we quietly have we support your voice, but in silence. So that's how they look at it. Now, there's reasons in the NBA. Nobody likes LeBron for the reasons I've pointed out before. He tries to always control the narrative of the league. He has completely sabotaged the NBA. Completely sabotaged. Manipulated. Did everything he could to get everything in his favor. And for what? So he can keep going to the NBA Finals. People like, he went 10 times in a row. Who else were they going to send? The Indiana Pacers? There was nobody in the East that they would send to the NBA Finals. Everybody there was to be a sideshow to help LeBron get to the finals. And what's going to happen when he get there? Oh, he's dog meat after that. Why? Because he's not good. Good players are beating him. This is why he doesn't win a lot when he gets there. The league is like, look, this is about as much carrying we could do. We can give you about 5, 6 perennial all-stars. What more do you want from us? What more do you want? We can't do anything else. Look, people have built in their own brains what they think about LeBron. So this isn't a we hate LeBron march. This is where we are march. This is where we are, good people. Let's get in fold right now. This is where we stand. LeBron James is who we thought he was. Nothing more, nothing less. But it's strange to me how everyone in the circle seems to have a bad outlook or a bad omen or any type of bad mojo when it comes to the energy level it is supposed to put towards actual work in progress. Meaning they talk a good game, but don't follow it up. They talk a good game, but don't follow it up. They talk a good game, but don't follow it up. You see what I'm saying? So, 10 times out of 10, you're going to always see the worst side of people rather than the best side. It's just natural. It's just the way it goes. You know, I didn't draw it up that way. LeBron James in the I Promise School decided to come out, put his school out there, and it falls under the coalition of the state. So you got to pay the taxes. That means the people in the state of Ohio have to pay the taxes for LeBron James School. The athletic curriculum of what they are learning is dictated by the state. LeBron James has no input. He has no financial responsibilities to the school anymore. It just bears his name. He got the tax write-off. Nike got the check cut and cut it over to them. So this whole school cost LeBron no money. But he bought all the PR from him. Put on some silver right glasses, came out in a suit that his little brother or his youngest son is supposed to wear, and gave a speech and looked like a complete moron. His wife out there in house shoes. And I'm like, oh my God, this is just bad. But this is the person we're supposed to follow. Because like they pick your leaders. Because believe me, if they're comfortable with your leader, he ain't the leader for you. You know what I mean? The powers that be. If the powers that be, they love your leader, you ain't got the right leader. I told somebody that before in business. They were doing a business with a promoter, and they were looking for new management to do the deal. So the manager that they had, that I gave them, I said, well, here's the manager. Let him go ahead and negotiate the terms of the deal. This is what he specializes in. Once the promoter found out who the manager was, he was, oh no, I don't really work well with that manager. Oh my God. Yeah, why would you get this guy? You know, I mean, he's okay, but I really don't like that manager. So the guy comes back to me scared, like, I don't know, he might run away. What do you mean? We might lose the promoter now because he don't like the manager. Like, he says he don't work good with it. I'm like, he's the guy that has to pay you. So if he don't like, the manager's job is he don't get paid unless you get paid. So the manager has to get his cut from you. So he's going to make sure you get as much money as you're supposed to get. That's his job. And if your promoter don't like him, it's because he can't get over on this guy. Now, if you want the promoter to provide you a manager that he gets along with, I don't know if that's going to be ideal for you. But obviously, they didn't see it that way. They're thinking about, oh, this could blow the big shot. So they decided to part with the manager that I gave them and pursue their own thing. Ultimately, it did not work out. But this is what happens in this crazy, crazy world. People have to learn only, or they can only see it when it's right in their face. Now, me, I've been indifferent I like to be alone most of the time. Don't like a lot of people around me. Just selected few. You know, keep things small. You keep the problems smaller. So for me, it works out better that way. Now, when it comes to everybody else, I can't speak for them. But for me, that's how I like it to go. Keep a small group. And then you can, manage the BS better. Now, you look at this. LeBron's got a big entourage because he needs people around him constantly boosting his ego. Right? He wants all these people all around him to be just so absorbed with LeBron and what LeBron's going to bring to the table. It's always about him and what he wants. So, knowing that, Enes Kanter is meaning everything he says because he's got a lot to lose. A lot to lose. He make one bad move, one false move, and they say, well, we're revoking your visa, and he has to return back to Turkey? My God. I just wouldn't even get on the plane. I would just run. I'll take all my money out the bank, and then I'm running. There's basically, you go back to Turkey, he can never return back to Turkey. That is out. That option is null and void. And then when they play the Toronto Raptors, he can't play. He can't go to Toronto, rather. He doesn't have he don't have a passport to go there. He can only stay here in the States. And Turkey is very upset with the United States for harboring him when they want him returned to face trials for what he's done. Well, all right, let me take this. All right, I gotta go take care of this. Thank you guys. My Cash App is Carcino. For those who want to donate, thank you for super chatting. Hopefully you guys liked the video and subscribe to the page. But let me get out of here. One.